Alright, so I'm watching this movie called Stuck With You, right? It's only like 59 minutes, basically an hour long. So this guy named Gail, he's trying to go meet his girlfriend for this party or whatever. He gets in the elevator, and all of a sudden this girl named Hannah gets in the elevator, and they're just going, and all of a sudden the elevator gets stuck. So they're basically like getting on each other's nerves, trying to get the fuck out the elevator. They start talking about all these random events. Somebody passed by at the top, whatever like that. He's yelling through the elevator like, hey, we're stuck in the elevator. We won't be able to get out. But they try to call maintenance and stuff like that. Now keep in mind it's New Year's Eve. Bottom line is maintenance ain't gonna come for them till about tomorrow, like 8 in the morning and shit. So basically they're gonna be stuck there for a while. Hannah tried to pull the doors open and try to malfunction shit. Next thing the elevator drops like 3 different floors and they're like, okay, let's stop fucking with stuff. Then they start telling stories about each other's past. Now, every time they do this, it feels like they're actually visiting their past through the elevator or whatever. Basically gives you a visual. So he talks about when he was younger and his cousins used to like piss on him and stuff at the beach and stuff. They're like, really? So she kind of got a little bit of sympathy for him. And then like at her job, she's like this hard-nosed boss or whatever like that. But bottom line is she doesn't trust men because all these men that cheated on her. This one dude she thought she was in love with, this nigga ended up stealing her stuff and stealing her car. I'm like, then she talk about the job she worked at and she had to be hard-nosed on everybody there. But she liked this one dude named CB. So, she dismissed everybody else and ended up giving them the business. I'm like, pfft. So then it gets to a point where Gail starts talking about his girlfriend Prune or whatever. So basically he was doing comedy at this comedy show. His comedy sucks. But as he was going to the back, he met this girl named Prune. This now is his first time meeting her. So she was basically striving for him to be better and all this other stuff. So she wanted to give him a chance. Next thing you know, they end up getting together, getting themselves a place or whatever like that. And she's been trying to motivate him to be a better him. But it got to a point over the years he was struggling or whatever like that. And basically he just stood home and started playing video games. And basically his motivation was pretty much damn near gone. But he wanted to do things, help out. And then he found out, well, at the time he didn't find out that she really wanted to have babies. And he was like, he said he was trying for like a year. He was shooting blanks. But he didn't really explain this part until after he thought he was going to get some help or whatever like that. And then he heard somebody smashing. And then he was like, oh, snap, she'll get it poppin', da 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 da. And then he finds out Prune was actually the one that smashed this random dude. So he's like, oh, shit. So Hannah starts feeling real bad for him at this point. And then this is when they start, clicking and getting together. Then it gets to the point they really start, connecting with each other. He tries to eat a peanut, almost chokes on it, damn near dies. She saves his life. And then there was one point where he's actually able to get the elevator open. He almost gets through, but then the elevator damn near crushes him, so she has to pull him back in. And she basically saved his life twice. So that's like the thing between them right now. So then he tries to play some music, and she doesn't even understand the song or whatever like that. He's like, you never heard this? It's like back in the 80s or whatever the shit is, right? So she's like, fuck it. They end up slow dancing and shit. Then when they were slow dancing, he almost tried to kiss her, and he was like, oh, I just thought that, what you do, whatever like that. He's all quiet and shy, whatever like that. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, da da da. But she wasn't really tripping off it. So after she was feeling bad about hearing his girlfriend getting smashed in the elevator while they were listening in the elevator, she basically wants to hook him up with girls that she's got on her phone or whatever like that. So she starts going down to run down the list or whatever like that. Then she flips over to a picture that's got her titties hanging out. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, I'm be thinking about that shit every time I think of you. She starts smiling a little bit. So then it gets to the scene where she's just laying back. They're just laying back in the elevator at this point, and she's thinking about times that she used to think about her dad looking up at the stars and stuff like that. Then afterwards, he hears a cat, and he's like talking to the cat like he's Dr. Dolittle all of a sudden. He's like, hey, you get us out of here. Then the cat's like, meow, or whatever. But while he's doing that, Hannah starts getting real sad all of a sudden because she's really thinking about her dad. And we found out her dad had an accident, and he ended up getting killed. Because he ended up having a brain aneurysm on the road and ended up flipping the car over and he was done dead as shit. Meanwhile, she was still able to survive. And that's the reason why she really doesn't trust men like that. She was like, she thought her dad would be able to stick around and all that stuff. It kind of got serious like towards the end. So then after that, they just like staring awkwardly. This is the first person she ever told that to or whatever. And all of a sudden out the blue, the elevator doors just start opening. So they basically getting their stuff off the elevator and apparently they lived on the same damn floor. Literally right across the hall from each other. Turns out the cat actually went and got the owner and was able to get the elevator from sticking or whatever like that. I'm like, how the fuck would a cat be able to talk? I'm like, never mind. So anyway, they're basically about to go to their respective parties. And then, he's like, saying, want to get a number and call you, whatever like that. She's like, I already got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already saved you twice. You pretty much owe me your life. And then she's like laughing it off. So they both go in there back to their doors. Then we see Gail leaving out or whatever like that. It turns out he actually broke up with Prune. But then Hannah comes back out the door and then she's like, where are you about to go? He's like, hey, you forgot your wallet. Your wallet was in my bag. He's like, oh. And then she gave him a wallet. And then she's like, yeah, I broke up with Mark too, though. And then she just leans over and kisses him. It's like, shit, let's get up out of here. Then they look at the elevator like, yeah, fuck all that. We taking the steps. And they actually ended up doing all this right like 10 seconds before New Year's Day hit. So the ball dropped, they got together, and now they about to go do some things outside of that. Random movie. It's pretty random. It's pretty short. I mean, it's only like an hour long, so check it out. Stuck With You on Netflix. There you go.